How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to my FIFA 17 Fulham career mode. This is episode 48 now, and in the previous episode we brought a few signings into the club. We've inquired for 3 defenders, and I think at the moment 2 of them have... Oh, well, they're all coming anyway. I can't remember who we officially have signed. I know Alexander-Arnold has confirmed and he's made the move, and we're also looking at bringing Holding and Chilwell to the club as well. In today's episode we'll be looking to just finalise those deals, and then we'll start we shall start looking for some further transfers. Of course, we're still looking for a striker and of course maybe a central midfielder or 2, but we have finally bolstered our defending acquisitions, so that should be good for the near future. Anyway, in the last episode as well, we also advanced out of the tournament group stage of the friendly tournament and into the knockout round. So 2 more games for you today. Hopefully we shall be claiming a trophy in today's episode, and that will be the end of the friendly season. We'll then have a game against Manchester United in the Community Shield to start off next episode. So yeah, look forward to that. Anyway, we've got our game first up today in the semi-finals of the European International Cup, the friendly tournament, of course. It's against Montpelier. I'm going to go and sort a new team out, and I'll see you at the start of the game. Okay then, we are live from the Signal Iduna Park for this semi-final matchup. It's Fulham against Montpelier in the European International Cup friendly tournament. We should, I believe, now get some team lineups now that we have advanced out of the knockout stages. Into the knockout stages and out of the group stages. I've decided to go with my full first team. As you can see, it's Hamburg and Sporting Gijon who will play in the other semis, and hopefully we shall meet them in the finals. I've decided to go for my full strength first team with a couple of new signings of Holding and Alexander-Arnold coming in to play. I think Holding will of course be our first team centre back anyway this season, but Alexander-Arnold, who you can see them both there actually. He won't be the number 1 right back, but he'll probably get some game times with the number of positions that he can actually fit in. So I've decided to give him a run out today, and then what we'll do if we get to the final, I will play a complete second side to make sure that the full first team is fully fit for the game against Manchester United. Of course, it's a bit difficult when you haven't actually signed all the players you want, and we've only got Aluko as a striker so far, which means he's playing every game at the minute, but hopefully before the start of the season, the proper season, i.e. hopefully before the start of the Community Shield, we shall sign a new striker. So I'm going to make that my priority once Ben Chilwell has come to the club. As I was mentioning earlier, those are the 3 that were signed, and you can see that both Holding and Alexander-Arnold have made their way to the club. So that is our lineup then. It's fairly straightforward, to be quite honest, to what we saw a lot of last season, just with Trent in there, number 18 over at right back, and of course Rob Holding, who has been one of our good players. There's the Montpellier lineup. Boudabou is probably most standout player there, but apart from that, a very average side from Montpellier. But I don't want to jump too many guns and say that we should win this game, but we're feeling a little bit comfortable. I believe in real life the French League has of course just finished the past weekend, and I believe Montpellier actually struggled this season. So I mean, they're in a higher division than Fulham technically, but not in this save. We are of course the Premier League champions and also the FA Cup champions, so expecting to add some more silverware at the start of the season. We did of course win the tournament last season, which was always very nice, and that little bit of extra transfer budget will go a long way in this window. Take it short into Aite, intercepted, but somehow it's found its way to Hosbed, and it's still Hosbed, and it's took a deflection, and it's actually ended up in the back of the net, very surprisingly there. For some reason, I thought it was a Montpellier free kick. I don't really quite know why, so I wasn't really paying too much attention. I realised it was our free kick, accidentally sort of took it short. I'd have rather have floated into the box. And somehow, in fact, it didn't take a deflection. It went through the legs of the number 3 defender for Montpellier. I do believe, yeah. Might have took a slight nick off his leg, but somehow Hosbed has managed to find himself scoring on that one. And he's took that one into the back of the net. We lead 1-0 here. So 2 minutes till the end of the first end. Not the most of interesting games, of course, but only as a pre-season friendly, you'd expect as much. But we've managed to take ourselves the lead there, thank you to Hosbed, and that will be the half-time whistle. So a very positive end to the first half there. A very sort of even game, I suppose. Montpellier never really looked to threaten that much, and neither did we, to be quite honest. But then a bit of a lucky break, and Hosbed was somehow able to find the back of the net, following what you could say was a little bit of poor defending. And in at half-time, it's Fulham 1, Montpellier 0. And in the other game being played then, of course, over in the other semi-finals, it's Hamburg and Sporting Gijon. They are currently level. We'd like to probably pull Hamburg out of that draw just to make it a little bit more interesting. We're going to make our average 3 substitutions. Standard 3 substitutions. Aaron Lewis comes on. Alexander Arnold looked very impressive. You'll probably hear, I'm probably just going to refer to him as Arnold, or maybe just Trent, because Alexander Arnold is quite a lot to say at most times. Hosbed, the goal scorer, will come off to make sure we save some fitness, and McDonald will be on, and we'll also bring on the young Rossi over on the right hand wing to give Tom Kearney a bit of a rest. So that'll be our excuse me, our 3 substitutions for the half, and we shall see if we can grab ourselves another goal in the second half, or just look to see out the game. Boodaboos it is with the corner. And I thought there was a hand used. Fortunately, it was by the Montpelier player, and that, I think, will probably be that. As we kick this one at field. So the referee's still playing on a little bit. Surely as that goes out of play. Still not. We've somehow actually ended up with a corner kick here. I'm going to swing this one into the near post. And we'll whip it back in. Let's go back a goal. Alcatore is there. We've got ourselves another corner, which again will whip into that near post. Nobody there again. Take 2 again for Cabano. Much better cross that time. Sanson away. And that now is finally full time. So we have been very successful here, and the good run of form in this pre-season tournament continues. We are in to the final of the European International Cup, and again another clean sheet. We've only conceded 1 goal in the 4 games, and that was in a 4-1 victory, I believe it was, which and we've scored quite a few here. We're only able to score the 1 goal here today, though, and it was scored by Hosbed. Of course, who else? I think that was actually his first goal in pre-season, but more importantly, it's our goal into the final. We've won here at full-time. It's Fulham 1, Montpellier 0. And joining us in that final will actually be Sporting Gijon. Is a little bit unfortunate. I'd have preferred Hamburg to have gone in there because we haven't played them yet. We, of course, had Gijon in our group, and we did actually defeat them. I think it was them who actually scored the 1 goal against us so far, but never mind. We shall see if the transfer offer for Chilwell has accepted. It finally has. So there we go. We've had a transfer offer for Maddle, which is nice. We shall accept Ben Chilwell, and we'll bring him into the club, which is always nice. We've of course received a little bit more prize money. Oh, I just deleted that. Damn it, I just deleted the wrong email. So received another 2.5 million there for that victory. Let me just quickly go and play with my transfer budget. I just want to quickly see where we're at at the moment. And I want to just drop a little bit more into the wage budget, just so that we could make a couple more signings. I'll cut it back down to 10 million. Give or take. Gives us 81,000 to spend in wages as well, which is always nice. And transfer negotiations, where are we? We shall see who has come in for Maddle. It is FC Nürnberg. They've offered us 700. I'll say match his valuation by an extra £25 and he's all yours, but I'll just happily accept whatever. Hopefully that doesn't put them off too much. So the question is now, though, let's take a quick look at some strikers. Now these scout reports haven't fully come in yet, but I'd really like to hurry this up. I'll leave it for now because I'd like the scouting report to come in. But if it gets towards the cup final, I'll have a look at how long the cup final is. These are still got 20 days left on them. What are they doing? Let's just see if there's. I don't think there's anyone new who has actually come in terms of the scout reports. These all seem to be where they were at, so nothing really too interesting to talk about there. Let's just take a quick look at the calendar. So we've got till there, so that's 5/10 is the 29th. 20 days. We should be okay, actually. We'll wait for those reports to come back in before we look to make any further signings. It's a quick training session. I want to put on... I would like to put on Alexander-Arnold in a training session, and I think I'd actually like to... He's actually got really good stamina. But I'd like to control his... What would I like to improve? Not so much his defending. I think maybe a dribble course, I think, is probably the best of him. So we'll add him to the training progress for now. We'll probably look at changing that up once the transfer window's closed. We've confirmed who we have got at the club and who may have left us, just in case any of the transfers go through. But we'll head in towards the final then of the European International Cup, where we face Sporting Gijon. And we shall go and play a full second team now as much as possible, although we don't actually still have a striker, which is a little bit unfortunate. But Ben Chilwell has actually come into the club, so we'll actually play him as well, even though he's going to be our starting player. But the cup game is a long way off, so it doesn't actually really matter too much, to be quite honest. We'll put them in their home kit as well, that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to go and sort some sort of team out, and I shall see you at the start of the game. Okay then, we are in to the final of the European International Cup friendly tournament. It's the Signal Iduna Park again, the home of Borussia Dortmund, who will host the competition. I think we've played pretty much every game there so far. There might have been one game where we didn't, but as far as I can remember, we've played quite a few games here, so hopefully we'll be able to add another trophy. Now, it's not technically a trophy, but they all count, right, if you're counting them. We won't be as dramatic as we were as winning the FA Cup and the Premier League. It's definitely not as important to that, because at the end of the day, it literally doesn't mean a lot. Although, to us, with the sort of budget that we've got, it does mean quite a little bit. I think, an extra £2 million could be in. Ben Chilwell has arrived at the club from Leicester for a £3.3 million fee. Number 21 he is at the moment. I'll probably look at doing some numbers towards the start of this season, after the transfer window is finished. Just noticed a couple of players there have some weird numbers, but so far it doesn't bother me too much, to be quite honest. But there you go, that's the team lineup. Not too many changes again, just we don't really have the players at the minute, with internationals going on as well. So there we go. I didn't actually look at who I brought onto the bench, but you can see the team lineup there. We've given Ben Chilwell his debut, and I've had to play Rossi over on the left hand side, because I think although he can't, it doesn't say he can play left hand side, he's the only one that has the potential to play there, apart from Sobi, who of course isn't here, and Aite was just looking very tired. So is Aluko, but he's the only striker that we have at the minute. Here's the Sporting Gijon lineup. Again, Javier Torres, I think that is probably the most noticeable player. Rodriguez isn't too bad either. Caladron, not bad as well. Gomez it was, who has scored the only goal past us so far in this tournament. So let's hope to see if we can keep a clean sheet out here, and let's see if we can pick up another trophy. And that is going to be half time. So a very, very undramatic first half, to be quite honest. But to be fair as well, to Sporting Gijon, I think they've probably been the better side. We haven't really had an attack. I don't recall us having a shot, let alone a shot on the target. You can't have one of those if you don't have a shot. On Sporting actually have had quite a couple. Well, half time it's Fulham 0, Sporting 0. There's the trophy that we're hoping to lift. We'll take a quick look. Well, apparently I've had 3 shots, but I really do not recall any of these. 2 of them were actually on target, but Sporting have had 5 with 2 on target. We've actually had more possession, so the stats kind of don't tell you the story of the game, to be quite honest, because it's been more about Sporting. Anyway, I don't recall what substitutes I bought. I brought Cabano. Well, we'll give Cabano a game. Malone and Rob Holding as well might as well play. We'll make those 3 substitutions, and we'll jump into the second half, and we shall see if we can pick up our win. I'd rather win it in full time. That's a lovely ball across here, and we've almost let them through there. The attack isn't over, but it is now, with thanks to Bettinelli. We'll distribute this one quickly over to Rossi. Let's see if he's still got a little burst of pace left in him. He hasn't. Moy Gomez intercepts, kicks it straight to his own player, but Sergio forward there. Here's Laura. Still Laura. That's a lovely ball in. What a save from Bettinelli. I don't know how he's not scored that. What a huge save that was, and that will call for full time. So I think it is going to go to penalties. I've just had word in my ear there from Martin Tyler that the match will be decided by penalty. So right at the dead there, Sporting, who I have to say have been the better side over the 90 minutes, and right at the dead they should have poked that ball home. But full time, it's Fulham 0, Sporting Gijon 0. So you can see there that really those stats again swinging a little bit in favour of Sporting, but possession wise we had more of it, but they had the better chances and they really should have scored. So we'll head over to the penalty shootout then. I don't really feel that confident, but I'm going to let Cabano go up first because he is probably our best penalty taker. Now then, this will pretty much set the tone for a season. Can we win on penalty shootouts? A good start. If we can win a tournament on penalty shootouts, it has been the bane of our career so far. Although we have to say, as Bettinelli makes a fantastic save, we have to say towards the back end of the season we were a lot more confident on penalties. And so far, so good. 100% thanks to Aluko and Cabano. It's going to be Lorat to take a wild runner. Bettinelli's made one save already. And he's going to get down to that near post. I just knew he was going there. And is there a new hero in goal? We'll let Lansbury fire this one down the centre. Keeper just dives out of the way. We've scored 3 from 3. Sporting so far have missed 2 from 2. And they've got to tuck this one away. Otherwise it's all over. And you could say that this has been a fantastic penalty shootout for us. Can we win it? 3-0? No. Okay. Probably moved a little bit too early there. Gave him the angle. But we could... It's actually going to be Malone who's going to finish this. And we're just going to roll it into that corner. And it's just gone in. And therefore we have won the tournament. On the penalty shootout as well is not a bad way to start the season. Hopefully that will continue on. We didn't miss a single penalty. No, we took 4 and we were able to score all 4. So we have won our pre-season friendly. We won it last year. I believe the first season we didn't actually make it out of the groups, if I'm not mistaken. But we won it last season. And we have been able to win it this season, along with our Premier League and FA Cup. A very weird save as we take a look at Malone's winning penalty there. The keeper kind of looked up. But commiserations to Sporting. They actually played a very good game across 90 minutes, but they were poor in the penalty shootout. In fact, we were actually just quite good, to be quite honest. I don't think... Okay, there is a cup celebration, but we're not really too fussed about it, to be quite honest. So it's a good start to the season. Hopefully that'll add a few more monies into our wage budget. I don't know who's going to be lifting this trophy because I don't think Sigurdsson was actually playing. So I don't know who it gave the captaincy to. It was actually Ream who gave the captain. So he's actually been a good servant to the club, to be quite honest, as we raise the trophy as European International Cup winners. Not as prolific as the Premier League or the FA Cup by far, but hopefully this will be part of this year's season. As I was just saying about Ream there, he's been with us since the very start. He's going to be seeing a bit less game time this season, unfortunately. So it's nice for him to lift the pre-season friendly. So congratulations to us, and I think that will probably end off today's episode. We'll head back to the main menus just to see if there's been any transfer actions, but we won't advance as far as Man United because it is quite a few days away. And what we'll do in the next episode is we'll advance forward and probably do a lot more transfers, and then we'll just have the single game against Man United in the Community Shield. And if we can start the season off with 2 trophies from 2 competitions that we've entered, it could be a very successful trophy for us. So let's move on ahead then, as we claim our first silverware of the season. I'm just intrigued how much money we'd have picked up. Overall, I think the prize fund was about 6 million, and I think we've already received about 3 of that. So we should, I'm hoping, we'll be able to get ourselves about another 3 here, and maybe about 2.5 in order to... they've gone for 700, so we'll do that. But yeah, they've given us another 2.9 million, which is always nice. They are very happy that we were able to win that. They've said 700, which I think was an improvement on their original bid. I'm not too sure, but I'm not going to mess around with it. We're just going to take the money and take the wages back into the funds now, and that's actually bolstered the wages again. So moving forward then, we're still looking to make a couple more signings. Of course, we are still looking at, if we actually go across to here, we're still looking for a centre-back, a striker and a central midfielder. I've got my eyes on Abraham and Solanke, but like I said, we're just waiting for the final scout reports to come in, and a couple of players in central midfield as well. Actually, there's 2 new players here of Alex Febas from Real Madrid, who we shall ask to scout. He's actually been loan listed, could be interesting. And Martin Odegaard. Actually, now I know he's supposed to be the next big thing. I've never been a fan of Odegaard for some reason, and mainly because I think if you can see it here, just his stamina is... He's very quick, but look at that, 35 stamina. Now I know he's only a young player, but for a central attacking midfielder, and he is now 19, you can't say he's that young, but he needs much better stamina than 35. That's even if it is 35. So I'm actually gonna remove him from the list because I have used him in FIFA before and I know that I just do not get on well with him. So we'll scout Alex Phoebus. He does actually look like potentially a decent player, so we'll get the scouting done on him as well. And you can see all these players here are to be scouted. Are there any other reports? It says, in fact, this says 1-0 on the strikers as well. Who have we got here? So Yousaf En Nesri from Malaga. We shall scout him as well and see what they have to say about him. And we've also got a new centre-back to look out in the form of Robert Pierre. Very similar to, sounds like Robert Pires, but we shall ask to scout him as well. So those are the potential signings that we'll be looking at over the next couple of days, hopefully, as well as we advance forward. We'll be able to get some of those in before the Manchester United game, but I'm going to wait until full scout reports start to come back in before I make any bids. That's going to be the end of today's episode then. Be sure to drop a like on the video if you did enjoy. Why don't subscribe as well if you're new around here, and until next time, goodbye.